Hi, today we're talking about regulating or controlling the cell cycle. It may seem like this is something that just happens, and in most cases, cells respond to stimuli in a very normal and expected way. But this process of kind of controlling the cell cycle and when it happens is necessary for a cell to be healthy and for an organism to be healthy. So there are little signals or factors from the outside and from the inside that signal when it is time to go through, for instance, like the cell cycle. So, for example, here we have a plate of cells undergoing normal growth. If a cut happens right here, hypothetically, these cells are removed. The cells on either side are going to receive little signals. And those little signals are going to say, all right, we have an injury, it's time to divide. And then those cells are going to go through division and they're going to fill in the missing spot until they touch on either side. At that touching, they will stop going through the cell cycle. That touch signal means stop. So again, it says here, in case you didn't see it, they stop dividing once they touch other cells. That is normal cell behavior, and that is a good thing. Now, there are kind of internal, like little checkpoints and little signals called cyclins that say, all right, it's time to go through the cell cycle. There are also external growth factors. Here's an example of like a fairly complicated cell biology pathway, but here we have a receptor. It gets a signal. That signal kind of responds by sending another signal that gets passed along and goes all the way to the level of the nucleus to start cell division, part of interphase of the cell cycle. So now with that, apoptosis, which is one of my favorite science words, apoptosis, is programmed cell death. So cells get old, they aren't doing their jobs correctly anymore, and they need to be removed for an organism to be healthy. In addition, during development, human babies start out with webbed fingers. You guys can see there, but clearly this baby here no longer has webbed fingers. So it is interesting to note that the cells in between the fingers do die off or self-destruct, and they're supposed to. They're supposed to do that. Now, when cell division is uncontrolled, that is when cancer arises. So these lumps, if you will, or clusters are called tumors. Tumors are clumps of cancer cells. There are two types of tumors that we're familiar with, that you should be familiar with, benign and malignant. Benign tumors are usually like, in terms of staging of cancer, like stage 1 or stage 2, they can typically be removed or remain in that localized for treatment purposes. Now, malignant tumors, these tumors can travel to other parts of the body. They might be like a stage 3 or 4 cancer, and they can travel through the bloodstream to other areas of the body. So if you've heard of somebody, kind of starting with one type of cancer and then moving on and then developing yet another type of cancer, even in a different location, that is because that particular type of cancer is malignant and is traveling through the bloodstream. These cancer cells don't do normal growth. They will kind of mound up and grow on top of each other. They don't respond to signals that say stop going through cell division. They just keep going. So what causes cancer? Cancers are caused by some sort of mutation, something goes wrong. And carcinogens are those things that can induce cancers or cause cancers or promote cancers. So lifestyle choices are really important in terms of, as you get older, reducing a propensity towards cancers. Smoking, being obese, proper diet, and lack of exercise are some of those things that can promote cancers. They do not directly cause cancers. Cancers are caused by many different things. Exposure to radiation, viruses, and other infectious agents can also cause cancer. If you've heard of HPV, the human papillomavirus, that virus can actually cause cervical cancer. And then in terms of cancer treatments, surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation are more common types of cancer treatments. They can do damage to healthy cells, though, particularly chemotherapy. Folks tend to lose their hair with chemotherapy because chemotherapy drugs, they destroy cells that are going through the cell cycle often, and hair cells are one of those cells that go through the cell cycle very often. How if you like to keep your hair pretty short, like a short haircut or a shape up, if you will, you have to go every couple of weeks to keep it looking the way you want because the hair grows quickly. There are additional types of treatments that include immunotherapy to kind of induce your immune system to work harder again and attack the cancer cells. There are targeted therapies, stem cell transplants, and clinical trials. And if you have any, questions about cancers or cancer treatment, feel free to reach out to me. My dad is he currently has brain cancer. Right now, he gets MRIs or scans of his brain every 3 months to make sure the tumor that he has is not growing at this time. But he's been through everything. He was approved for a clinical trial, and then right now he's working with a targeted therapy treatment called Avastin. And I hope everybody learned something today. And again, feel free to ask any questions. Thank you.